126. 126.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. פניו ותודה, בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו ותודה, בזמירות נריע לו. ונרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. ונרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. נקדמה פניו ותודה, בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו ותודה, בזמירות נריע לו. כי גדול אדוני, ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים. כי גדול אדוני, ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים. כי גדול אדוני, ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים. גדול אדוני, ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים. ונרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. ונרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. נקדמה פניו ותודה, בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו ותודה, בזמירות נריע לו. כתף ענה בתודה, בזמירות נריענו.
So as we make our way through the songs of Kabbalat Panim, and as we allow ourselves to let go of the week that was and embrace the Shabbat that can and will be, I want to take a moment to join all of you who are joining us for services this Friday evening. Both those who have for weeks been joining us through the live streaming of our services through TBI TV and through our YouTube and Facebook channels. And also now as I turn to my right and my left, to those who are in the sanctuary with us as we begin to celebrate the fact that life is beginning to return towards something that looks a little bit more normal. But the last thing our sanctuary looks like this evening is normal. It's still set up in our COVID reality, but we hope that by those gathered in this space, as well as those joined online, we can share in a few moments of prayer, in a few moments of meditation, in a few moments of celebration, but to also join with those amongst us who need the support of community, who are also going to be pausing for a few moments of remembrance as part of our worship this evening. Whatever brings you together, whatever brings you to us, welcome. Be with us and celebrate Shabbat with us. We continue on the foot of page 132, 132 in our Siddur, with the words of Ozarua Latzadik, a reminder that light is sown for the righteous, the radiance, the upright. Rejoice. Rejoice in the light of Shabbat, in the light of community, in the blessing of family. Ozarua.
צדיק זרו על הצדיק, 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 ולאיש ולב שמחה, ולאיש ולב שמחה, ולאיש ולב צדיק זרו על הצדיק, 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 ולאיש ולב שמחה, ולאיש ולב שמחה. זרו על הצדיק, זרו על הצדיק.
We turn forward to page 138, 138 in our prayer book, or 138 in the flip book if you're following along at home online, for the words of L'Chadodi.
Ya la 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 L'Chadodi, Ya la 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 לקראת כלה, שבת, בני שבת לקבלה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת לקבלה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת לקבלה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת לקבלה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת לקבלה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת לקבלה.
We rise, we turn to the door to welcome Shabbat. If we're at home, we open the window to welcome her in.
שלום, עטרת ברח, גם בשמחה ובשורות תוך אמונה, עם סגולה.
la לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת וקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 בני שבת, בני שבת וקבלה.
And so we'll take a moment to remain on our feet for those of us in the sanctuary to turn to each other at a distance, but to wish each other Shabbat Shalom. I want to invite those of you online to take a moment. If you haven't wished Shabbat Shalom to those, jump in the chat, say hi, let your voice be known. I'll also let you know that TBI Melbourne this evening is none other than our president. That is really TBI Melbourne. Let's just take a moment to wish each other Shabbat Shalom before continuing with the words of Mizmor Shir on page 140. 140. Please be seated in the sanctuary.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלה הסור ועלה ועלה היגיון בחינות.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
כי שמחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ענן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. איש רעה לא ידע, וחסד לא יביא לעצות.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
And so, having welcomed Shabbat with psalm and with song, having turned to greet each other, it behoves us to formally welcome Shabbat with ritual. And so I'd like to take a moment to invite Leah up onto the bima before the reader's desk in front of us to lead us in the kindling of our Shabbat lights. If you're at home, have not yet had an opportunity to light your Shabbat candles, then we invite you to do so along with us this evening.
O source of light and truth, creator of eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Do I read line? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom to you all. Let's join together in the singing of Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon.
We rise for the Chatzi Kaddish and remain standing through the Baruch Hu as we transition from Kabbalat Shabbat into Ma'ariv.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
והמן תברא רוצה וימליך מלכותה. וחייכון וביומכון וחייתכו בית ישראל.
בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב.
ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעלם ולעלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה
Brichu.
מן כל בחטא ושירתה
ושפחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה.
ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. We continue with the Ma'ariv Aravim, the evening prayer on page 148. Please join me in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחלף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, בשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולה אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביל יום ובין לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
אהבת עולם את ישראל עמך אתה, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו וקומנו נשיח לחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגלה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה, אשר חנוכים מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך וקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו הציצית הכנף בציר תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי הליכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Emet. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, and that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and there's no way to get from here to there except by marching together, by joining hands, and if we're lucky enough, by finding friends with whom to sing. Mi Chamocha on page 158, our song of freedom.
Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, Osef eleh, Torah tehilot, Osef eleh, מלכותך רעוב עמך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, תורה תהילות, אוסף אלeh.
Blessed are you, Eternal, who redeems us, who redeems all Israel, and please God, who redeems all humanity. On page 160, Hashkivein.
Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamideinu malkeinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamideinu malkeinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamideinu malkeinu lechaim, lechaim, lechaim.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom aleinu va'al kol amo Yisrael va'al Yerushalayim. Ordinarily, we would transition in any evening service from the words of Hashkiveinu directly to the words of the Amidah. But on Friday evening, it's different because Friday evening is different. This is not any evening. This is not Chol. This is Kodesh. This is Shabbat. And so we extend our Ma'ariv service slightly by adding in one additional prayer. Perhaps the most celebrated of all the prayers of Shabbat. In fact, it's a prayer which came straight out of the Torah itself. I'd like to introduce it with the modern commentary on the left-hand page 163. The words that I like to use as we lead into singing of V'shamru. This lazy evolutionist blesses the lazy creationist for their belief. Instead of slaving for millions or even billions of years to reach their present state, they had it made for them in 6 days flat. And some of them think the earth is still that. Which is why this evolutionist gives thanks to the creationist. For without them, I would miss this heaven-sent day of rest. V'shamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, 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 לעשות את השבת לדורות אמרית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת. בשבת ויהי נחש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
My friends, we turn forward to page 164 for our tefillah, our amidah, our standing prayer, and I invite those of you in the sanctuary to rise with us. I also invite those of you at home, if you choose, to stand so that we can stand as one. And as is our tradition, we will begin the amidah together with the opening 3 benedictions before continuing in personal silent prayer. For those of you in the room, I invite you to continue perhaps with the words of the prayer book, or if you prefer, the words of your heart, and ask you to be seated when you feel comfortable. For those of you at home, we will remove the distraction of the 3 of us davening and focus instead during that silent prayer on the lights of our menorah, giving you the time to take a few moments for yourself. But first, we begin together.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, אלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני,
ברוך שמו,
מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה.
אמן.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב והושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחייב מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומטוב מלך, מלך ממצוא חייב ומשמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך הקדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני,
ברוך שמו,
האל הקדוש.
Amen. Continue in personal silent prayer.
שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. הוא עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
ועל כל בני אדם. So a brief word of Torah for this Shabbat evening. Here at TBI this week, together with the people of Israel, we find ourselves reading Parashat Chukat. I know that's not the Torah portion the entire Jewish world is reading, and why are we reading Parashat Chukat together with the people of Israel is a topic for another Devar Torah. Sorry, I should say Korah. I'm confusing myself. Parashat Korah. We're reading Chukat tomorrow afternoon when we celebrate the young man becoming Bar Mitzvah. But anyway, why it is that we're reading a different Torah portion to others in Australia is a topic for another Torah portion, but Korah is what actually holds my attention. Now, some of you would have already read in my weekly drush that precedes the announcements of the week in our email that I found this week a pretty important lesson in this Sidra, in this Torah portion. And since writing that message on Thursday morning, I found that lesson to be reaffirmed in a number of different ways. But I don't want to make the assumption that you've all read it, so I apologize to those of you that have, but I'm going to go backwards in order for us to go forwards together. Korach tells the story of one of the great rebellions of our people's history. When Korach, himself a member of the priestly class, a Levite, leads a rebellion of his followers against Moses and his brother Aaron, feeling that they know better, feeling that they could lead the people out of the challenges, the trials and tribulations of the wanderings in the desert, more effectively, more efficiently, and perhaps even more responsibly than Moses. Now, the Torah goes to great lengths not to critique Korach's argument. And the commentators in subsequent generations have even gone as far as to say, Korach had a good point. There were some things that Aaron and his sons and Moses and the leaders, the appointed leaders of the tribes were doing that weren't necessarily the best for all of the people. But nonetheless, the story of Korach ends like one of these great adventure movies we see coming out of Hollywood, or shall I say, we used to see coming out of Hollywood, because it's been a little while since we've seen a movie come out of Hollywood. The earth opens up and swallows Korach and his followers. Couldn't be more dramatic. I couldn't think about the amount of special effects that we need to use to do that in this day and age. Why? Because our tradition has always taught that it wasn't Korach's argument, it wasn't Korach's contention that the divine mover of heaven and earth had a problem with. which he went about making his point. It was the notion of rebellion, of civil discontent, of separating yourself from the tribe and saying that you know it better, you see it better, you want to dictate it better. When I read through Torah this week, I thought about the world in which we live. And I thought about the voices that I'm beginning to hear amongst my friends, amongst my family, and certainly amongst our community. Those who question the need for us doing the things that we're doing, limiting those in this room, keeping our physical distance from one another. I hear people say that they think that they don't know whether it's really necessary. Not sure whether it will really make a difference. I even heard someone say that we wouldn't have lost as many people just from the simple flu. And we saw just a couple of weeks ago a number of people, some 10,000, think that they knew better. To go out into the city to protest for a cause which was as just and as righteous as Korah. Don't get me wrong. Screaming from the rooftops we should be about the issues that those 10,000 people protested in the city. The inherent racism in our country. The second, third, fourth, fifth class citizens that our nation's first people exist as. Those things are worth screaming about. For protesting in our hundreds and in our thousands, in the midst of a pandemic, I'm not so sure. Nor for that matter am I sure that the group which call themselves Extinction Rebellion, should be marching tomorrow. Even though I agree with them that our climate is more compromised than ever, and that we as a society need to respond aggressively, assertively, dynamically, and immediately. But Korach taught us that it's not the argument that really matters. It's not the just cause that ultimately matters. In fact, when we go about making our arguments in the wrong way, in an ineffective way, we realize that there is distance between us and that which we're trying to achieve. Far more distance than the 1.5 meters that those who know and understand the science, who understand the data, are telling us we still need to observe. And so I just want to make one point clear from this bima, and on behalf of this congregation, as we lead into a gradual, very careful and very cautious reopening of our synagogue. We will listen to every piece of advice. We will follow every rule and every regulation, and we will not make a single exception, no matter how just or how valid the cause. Because we understand that what is at risk, is something as serious as what ultimately happened to Korah. The earth may not open up and swallow us, but our future will be significantly compromised. And not just our future. Those that followed us. Because it wasn't just Korah who dies in this week's Torah portion for his actions. It was tens of thousands of people who chose to listen to him, to follow his charismatic leadership, and to step out with him. Now is not the time for us to do that. We will not let these issues fall. We will come back to them louder and clearer than ever before when the time is right and when the vehicles and the tools to do it are available to us once more. But for now, we need to continue to do whatever we can to ensure that not a single unnecessary life is lost to this pandemic which is holding the world at bay. We are so incredibly lucky to live in this country. We shouldn't challenge that luck any more than we need to. So that's not my prayer for Shabbat. That's my wish for Shabbat. That's my hope for Shabbat. That's my aggressive, assertive insistence for Shabbat. I hope that you and this entire congregation will join me in that continued effort. Just as we have shown that we will recognize the need for physical distancing, we will find ways to come together and find ways to fight the good fight. But for now, we need to hold the course. And I invite you to continue to do that with me as we turn to page 586 and rise for our leading praise. I need an ark opened. Page 586.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו נהנות, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We remain standing as we turn our thoughts now to the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 598. 598. And as I turn the attention of those joining us through the live streaming of our services to the memorial candle that lies before us, I want to invite those within the sanctuary to turn to those amongst us who are remembering a loved one at this time. We recognize the loss of your brother, Ellen, and the loss of your mother. And we think of them first amongst those who we are observing in our Shiva. We think of Joseph Braverman and Martha Cohn. We think of those who Shloshim we are observing at this time: Susie Bright-Learmont, Edward Ecclesman, Valerie Jacobson, Paul Komarov, Susan Levin, Mikhail Ober, Morris Pereira, and Martha Sanders. We also think on this Shabbat Korach, of the lives of those whose yortzites we are recalling as a community. We think of David Bach, Jack Gourmet, Norbert Fox, Felicia Hutchinson, Philip Heyman, Dora Jacobson, Lee Maisel, Paul Anthony Mees, Haskell London, Mayor Page, Irene Popper, Michael Ragg, Lorraine Seligman, Alfred Stone, Henrietta Vogel, Richard Wilkin, and Polly Zons. If you have other names that you would like to share, I invite those of you in the room to share them now. And I invite those of you on our stream to add them into the comments so that we can support you at this time. As we offer these words as ancient as our people, these words of love and these words of loss. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Ba'amad yivrach chilutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chaychon v'yomechon v'cheidecho Beit Yisrael v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei
Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam ameh amaya.
יפרח וישתבח ויפאב ויתרומן ויתנשא ותדע ותעלה ותעלה לשמי לקודשה
בריחו.
לעילם מן כל בריחתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דמינן בעמה ואמרו,
Amen.
יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם ואמרו.
Amen.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to all of us, to all who mourn, but particularly bring peace and blessing to those who we remember. And to that we say, Amen. I invite you to be seated as I invite our President out from behind the computer to offer a few words of greeting.
Thank you, Rabbi, and what a delight it is to be back here in the sanctuary, and greetings to all of you who are here and the 40 or so screens of people who are watching online. It is absolutely wonderful to be back in the synagogue, and hoping to see many of you before too long. So, some announcements. Tomorrow morning, we have morning services with Rabbi Ettlinger, and we will welcome back Rhonda Hall to the Bima. And then in the afternoon, do join us online as we join with the Morley family for Isaac becoming Bar Mitzvah. That will be at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Through the week, our virtual program continues as usual with Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Ettlinger on Tuesday, with Rabbi Lazaro taking us through a brief history of
Judaism.
Yes. History of Judaism. I think you're going to be from the Crescent to Spain this week. And then also, for those of you who love the musical Lunch and Learn, do join Ido on Thursday, and he will be with a very special friend of TBI, with Charlie Kramer. Daily Davens also continue through the week, and one more thing is that it is Rosh Chodesh coming up, and so people who are interested can join Rabbi Ettlinger and a few of us on Sunday for a Zoom for Rosh Chodesh, where we will be continuing to look at some of the women judges, and I believe this week it will be about Yael and Deborah. And I think we are finishing now with Kiddush, and I wish you all a wonderful and a restful Shabbat. Hopefully you'll be spending it with friends and family. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Recognizing our efforts to demonstrate our responsibility, Leah, I'm going to invite you to come back up. Don't worry, you're not doing anything other than holding a Kiddush cup, but you're the only person that's been touching those things, so we want to keep it within a bubble. You looked very nervous there that I was going to invite you to say Kiddush. It's all right, Sharon's got your back. If you could just lift that Kiddush cup up, and we'll join together in Kiddush.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל עמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim. And if I could ask you to go so far as to remove the cover off those chalot, we're going to continue with Motzi.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Amen.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow morning.